Most of us remember Ahmaud Arbery. He's a young man in Georgia who was out for a jog. They tracked him down. They got their pickup trucks and chased him, and he ran away, and they chased him some more. He ran another way. This went on for several minutes until they finally cornered him, and he tried to run away again, and he was shot 3 times. What they're now having is called the pretrial hearings, and that's when they determine what evidence will be initiated in the court, what evidence will be allowed on the prosecution side, on the state side, and on the defense. There's a couple of bits of news, bits of information that could totally sway this whole thing, guys. They made a number of phone calls from the jail. Very much could be damaging to a defense. One of the comments was, no good deed goes unpunished. No good deed goes unpunished. And then a series of laughter between Gregory McMichael and whoever he was talking with on the phone. This information has already been used in order to deny bond, because the prosecution contends this goes to show that McMichael has no remorse for his actions. In fact, he finds it funny that he's incarcerated. And he thinks killing Ahmaud Arbery was a good deed. So, of course, the defense doesn't want to allow this information in. For some reason, it appears that the defense contends that Mr. McMichael had no idea that this could be used against him. Even though the recording on the phone line when you're in jail, when you pick up the phone and use it before it connects you to your call, what does it say, guys? It says, any information obtained on this phone call can be used against you. You get the message every time you make a phone call. On the defense side, what they want to do is they want to bring into question the mental state or the mental condition of Ahmaud Arbery. They said Ahmaud Arbery had some psychological mental health records, some mental health difficulties over the last couple of years before his death, before his killing. So they want to bring in those records and say, this leads to what happened, because if he had been in great mental health, maybe they wouldn't have had to kill him. I guess that's the argument. If Ahmaud Arbery would have been more mentally fit, then they wouldn't have had to kill him that day. Maybe then these unlicensed, uncertified, law-breaking rednecks wouldn't have had to take his life. The other thing they're trying to do is they're trying to bring in previous run-ins with the law that Ahmaud Arbery had. Now, of course, the prosecution's like, what good is this? This is not germane to the conversation. It's not germane to what happened that day. Now, and looking at different legal points of view on this, let's say that McMichaels knew Ahmaud Arbery, and they knew that he had a prior conviction for petty theft, or he had a prior incident or something about fighting or something like that. If they knew that going in, that may lead to the reason why they felt they had to arm themselves. The problem with their wanting to put this information into the record to say, I'm going to use this in determining if this was cold-blooded murder or just murder, however you want to look at it, they have to prove that they had knowledge of this information. I found nothing in the notes that shows that the McMichaels had any idea, anything about Ahmaud Arbery other than he was a black young man, and that he'd walked past this construction site that had 2x4s in it that wasn't fully built. And they thought he must be stealing wood or something from this place they didn't even own. So I don't see how that can be admissible. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation's an agent by the name of Richard Dial. He testified that Travis McMichael, that's the killer who shot Ahmaud Arbery, the son, after shooting Ahmaud Arbery 3 times, killing him, he uttered a racial slur while standing over Ahmaud Arbery's body while it lay in the street, bleeding out. He looked down at Ahmaud dying and said a racial slur. If that is allowed in, I look at it as an open shut case to begin with, but I would see this as going even less chance of any type of outcome is positive for the defense. A lot of the folks on the conservative websites love to focus on Ahmaud Arbery's past, running with the law, or a altercation, or something about he took a TV from Walmart a couple years ago or something, as if that has anything to do with this at all. They leave out the fact that McMichaels, Roddy Brown, both the McMichaels and Roddy Brown have text messages where they use the N-word in them, in referring to black people. And other derogatory terms were used about black people. Racial slurs about black people were found in their text messages and in their social media. So I don't know, man. Is the judge going to let any of this stuff in at all? Or is the judge going to say, okay, let's just clean the slates. We start with the day this happened, because we can go tit for tat. You want to bring in the TV from Walmart and the fact that Ahmaud Arbery is on probation? Fine, we'll bring in your text messages where you call black people the N-word. Now, we already know Ahmaud Arbery was not stealing anything from that construction site. There was nothing there, and he had nothing in his possession. Who committed the crime that day? We think we know who that was. I think that's very clear who committed that crime. So, folks, as we go through the process, the legals, as it winds its way through the legal system, I will be updating you to this story, letting you know each step of the way how we go. We look forward to a conviction in this case. It looks very obvious. They lynched him. What else do you call 3 white guys in pickup trucks chasing a black man, running for his life, trying to get out of town, trying to get out of this neighborhood? What else could you call that? Shot 3 times in the middle of the street. And then someone stands over you and uses the N-word. I mean, what other... So I know with Sean Hannity and those types of folks, and the Tucker Carlsons, and also the self-hating black folks who are going to try to diminish this, but what else would you call it? What term would you like to use? I mean, if this is not a lynching, I don't know what is. It's horrific. It's an open shut. These aren't even cops. No one's given them any authority to do anything to anyone ever. Other than someone breaking into their homes and then putting them in threat of, safety threat or what have you, they had no right to chase someone. They're supposed to call the cops. These are private citizens grabbing guns and chasing people and killing them. None of these guys should ever see. If they get sent a photo of the sun, that would be too much for them. If someone sent them a jar of air, fresh air, that would be too much air for them. You understand what I'm saying? They should never get to see sun or breathe fresh air ever again.
Most news shows are suspect. They don't focus on black issues, and when they do, it's all fluff. How does that help your life? How does that help your family? How does that help the culture? They don't. The Tim Black Show is different. Tim Black gives you news for people who can't stand the news. Real, authentic, researched, entertaining, on point. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. Visit www.timblacktv.com today. Get black breaking news, politics, culture from someone you can trust. timblacktv.com. Join us today.